GDP fell 0.9% in the second quarter, the second straight decline and a strong recession signal. U.S. home prices to plunge substantially on cratering demand. Was Plano mortgage companies' fall a sign of trouble in the housing market? Airbnb rookies should lower booking projections because the short-term rental gold rush is over. Is it cheaper to rent or to own? Home builders dropping net prices month over month, seeing the highest increase in dropping prices in the month of May. We're back, guys, and we're here to talk about the housing crash that is here. That is why I'm wearing my red shirt, because it symbolizes warning. Pew, pew, red alert, red alert. Okay, well, it's not that bad, but we are definitely seeing a huge price adjustment in houses and a market shift right before our eyes, and we're gonna get into it right now. Some of you may remember that I did a video back in February on market predictions and the Atlanta real estate market being on fire and that there are massive problems going on. It's amazing to see that in just a short 6 months, the market has changed drastically. And today we're going to cover what's going on in the market right now and why it's happening, as well as what does this play into effect for buyers and sellers, as well as what can we expect in the next 6 months. Stay tuned, because I'm going to give you all the answers here. So what is going on with the current housing market? Well, guys, like nationally, we can see that in the metro Atlanta area, we are also seeing a housing shift. What does this mean? Well, we are visibly seeing house price reductions in greater amounts and in more frequency, as well as homes staying on the market longer. And we're seeing different effects, such as sellers not wanting to keep their home on the market, withdrawing and staying in their home and deciding not to move. Also, buyers are being priced out of the market and no longer buying. Is this indicative of the entire metro Atlanta market or just certain counties or cities? And is this going to last for a long time? And is it really as bad as a lot of these headlines are saying it is? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. I think one of the things that we really need to take a look at that really paints a picture of why we're in a market shift is this right here. As you can see, the total days on market in the year 2021, that is last year, we could see in the month of July, it was 13 days on the market before the house went under contract. That was the average, and this was in Gwinnett County, which is the second biggest county in metro Atlanta. So I'm going to use this as a reference point for all of the graphs and charts from here on out. Now, if we take a look at the same kind of metric, but in the year 2022, we can see the days on market is now 21-day average in the month of July of this year. So compared to 2021, we've seen an extra week longer for houses to go under contract before they sell. Now, this might not seem like a big deal. Well, 7 days, that's not a big difference, but compared to a year ago, that is a change that is happening faster than what we may have expected it to be. We're going to further dive into details by taking a look at First Multiple Listing Service, the FMLS, which is what realtors use, such as myself, to directly upload market information about properties that are for sale in the metro Atlanta area. So let's take a look here. I'm going to do a search real quick, again, sticking with Gwinnett County, and a price point of $350,000 to $450,000, single family homes only, that closed 90 to 120 days ago, which was 3 to 4 months in the past. Why am I using this metric? Because, believe it or not, the market was quite different just 3 to 4 months ago, and this price point showed the highest amount of showing and offer activity, and Gwinnett County had a lot of transactions going on. So let's take a look at the results. So if we scroll all the way down here and we see the average sold price versus original list price, it came out to 102.73. What does that mean? That means that on average in Gwinnett County, homes that were priced in this range, 350 to 450, sold on average 2.73% over the asking price. Now, not only that, we can see that the total days on market average was 19 days and the median was only 6 days. But why don't we take a look at what happened in the last 30 days, because this is going to be more indicative of the current market. So if we did the same thing, as you can see here, I put in all the same search results, but here in the bottom left, I put in the last 30 days. And so as I scroll down and I look at the results, the average sold price versus original list price was only 100.98. That means homes on average sold for about 1% over the asking price. Now that is a decline that we can see from just 3 to 4 months ago, which was 2.73%. So homes are starting to come down in price in terms of over the asking price. They're still selling for over the asking price, believe it or not. Now this is just one metric to look at, and you might think, well man, Tim, the homes are still selling over asking price, but we have to factor in what's actively on the market now, because that is also a different kind of metric that we're going to take a look at in a second. Now, why don't we use a different price point, this time a little bit higher price point, which could be more sensitive with the pricing versus the down payment that people have and the amount of money for their jobs that they can qualify for a bigger loan. So let's take a look now at the price point of $600,000 to $800,000. So again, this is in Gwinnett County 3 to 4 months ago. And when we scroll down, we can see that the average sold price versus the original list price came out to 105.27. That means it was a whopping 5.27% that homes sold over the asking price, with an average total days on market of 14 days in the entire county of Gwinnett. Again, Gwinnett County is 25 minutes northeast of downtown Atlanta and very much part of the metropolitan area of Atlanta. So this is a good county to use as a measurement. Plus, this is also where I live. And so again, let's now take a look at what has been happening in the last 30 days. And when we see the sold price versus the original list price, as we scroll down, we can see here that it was 0.84%. So less than a percent that the home sold over the asking price, and the average days on market being 16. Whoa, what happened here? This is one of the biggest differences that we're seeing in the market right now. That the higher price point homes are the ones that are being more difficult to afford because the mortgage is so much higher. People either don't have the down payment to bring it down or not willing and comfortable enough to be able to pay such a high mortgage. So again, we take a look from 3 to 4 months ago, it was 5.27% over the asking price versus now it is less than 1% over the asking price that homes have sold for. That's about a 4% decline. And homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer, not much, only 2 days, because if the home is move-in ready and it looks well maintained and upgraded, then it's going to still sell at a relatively fast amount of time. But we're going to take a look at a different metric that also shows why we're in a market shift. Are you ready? Now, I kind of already alluded to it with the first graph that talked about the total days on market being higher in this month of July versus last year's July, but let's take a look at a real life example. Now let's take a look at a listing to give an example. This is actually my listing here in Buford. It's at 2899 Ogden Trail, and this is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom house with 3,599 square feet. Yes, you heard me correctly. That is a massive square footage and a big floor plan for a ranch home. And this is located again in Buford and was built in 2018, priced at $615,000. But what you don't see is this. Here at the bottom, you can see that the total days on market, which is also referenced as DOM, is now at 44 days. But you might be thinking, wait a minute, I thought it was 21 days on market for the homes that have sold in July. Well, we also have to think about these homes that have sold in July were under contract a month ago in June that were priced based on comps that were in April and May. And since we're seeing a rapid change in the market just from 3 to 4 months ago, you can bet that the data is already a little bit outdated. So again, going back to this example, you can see that the total days on market for my listing in Buford is 44 days. And not only that, you can see here that the original list price was $639,000. We've had 2 price decreases since we first hit the market. So it's now at $615,000, and we may even have to do another price decrease. You might be asking, well, Tim, there must be something wrong with the house, right? I mean, surely that's why. Well, Let's take a look again. This is a 2018 built home. It's only 4 years old, it's very new still, and it's in great condition. Nothing's wrong with it, nothing's wrong with the neighborhood. It's just the homes are not selling as fast. And if we further investigate the rest of the community as far as the homes that are currently for sale and active on the market, where you can quickly see right here that the homes are indeed decreasing in price. You see all these red down arrows. So it's not just mine here at 2899 Ogden Trail, it's all of these others. And you can also see on the days on market, they're also being on the market for upwards of around 55 days for one of them. And so lo and behold, we could take a look at one last chart to really describe what this current market looks like, and it's this right here. The number of active listings per month over the last 12 months. And here it is. This is the golden metric that I wanted to show you all. July of 2022, and keep in mind, I'm doing this video with about 3 days left in the month of July, so it could be even higher by the time I look at it again in the month of August. But here you can see that the total active number of listings is about 2,100 in the entire county of Gwinnett this month. It has gone up to an all-time high in the last year. What does that mean? Well, active listings means those homes that are currently not under contract, they have not received an offer that the seller has accepted, which means that the months to come, we're going to see a delayed effect with the metrics that will point to being more homes on the market that are selling for less and having more price reductions on top of that. So that's the first part that I want to mention. The second thing I want to mention is, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Well, the number one main reason is interest rates. Yes, interest rates have skyrocketed, and it's quite amazing to see that just in January, basically January 1st, it was around 3% for the interest rate. And if you're not familiar with what interest rates are, when you purchase a home, most people do not have the cash to purchase the home outright. They have to get a loan from a bank. And when they get that loan to be able to buy the house, throughout a 30-year or 15-year period, you have to pay back the bank the principal of the loan itself and the interest for the bank having loaned it to you. So this interest rate is a very powerful thing in terms of whether people can afford to buy a house or not. And so January 1st, it was 3%, and now we're sitting in the month of July, and it's around 5.5%. Now, historically, this isn't that bad, actually. At one point in the 80s, it went up as high as 18%. However, it's a lot different market then than it is now. What we're seeing now is that there are less homes for sale, a lot less new construction being built, and people living in their homes much longer than before, making the market less liquid. So going back to interest rates, what I want to hit on is that 5.5% historically is not that bad, but what makes this so difficult now is that home prices are at an all-time high. So it's already hard enough to afford a mortgage on a sales price of, say, $500,000 for a home that a person bought 20 or 30 years ago for $250,000 or $300,000. And the other thing about this is that the interest rate went up so fast. In fact, from January to April, we saw the fastest increase in history for the interest rate to have gone up. It spiked, and we saw the delayed effect for months to come where people started to fall out of the market because they were priced out. So are there any other reasons as to why this market is a market shift? Well, the main other reason besides interest rates having gone up so much is that the market has just been way too hot for too long. Since 2012, homes have just increased in value, but particularly in the last 2 years, in this COVID era, when interest rates got to as low as 2.1% in 2020, people were buying up homes like crazy. So in 2020 and 2021, we saw what happened in terms of the prices going up. Last year, 24% increase, when typically homes go up about 4 to 5% on average every year. From 4 to 5% to 24% the prices are just not sustainable. And we started to see that happen earlier this year as well, with about an 8% increase in prices. And it just got to the point where the home prices could not stay at that level. And with interest rates rising, it only put a bigger dampener. So now that we talked about what the current market is like with this market shift, and we know as to why the shift in the market is happening, and that it's a very real market correction that we're seeing right before our eyes, I'm gonna go over in the next video what this means for buyers in the current market and for sellers. So you don't wanna miss that video. Make sure to subscribe because I wanna cover more content that will be very helpful to you. I talk about real estate here locally in Metro Atlanta, especially in the North Metro Atlanta area. So I hope if you're looking to move that I can get a call from you. I want to hear from you. I wanna see your face, and I wanna see you on the next video. Talk to you then.